Welcome to Paizo Live, our monthly fireside chat style show where we bring our wonderful creatives on to tell you about what we're working on. I'm Maya, Paizo's community and social media specialist.
And I'm Maryssa, Paizo's web content manager. Maya, I think you've started to collect almost all of us now.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I think it's happening.
You've collected almost all of the marketing team.
Yes, I'm really excited. I think now I just have to host Paizo Live with BJ, and then I think we're.
And then you have everybody. You have the full circle.
Caught them all. Yes, I cannot wait. I look forward to that. And of course, happy Friday to you, Maryssa, as well. And what game have you been playing lately? Please tell us.
Oh my goodness. So I am Pathfinder-wise, I am continuing my Kingmaker campaign as the most useless rogue known to man, and I'm delighted by her. But not playing, but hopefully playing soon. I just picked this up at my local gaming store.
Ooh, what?
It's Deadly Dowries, where you play ladies, fine ladies, hoping to get a marriage, and you need to raise your dowry, but also keep your reputation on the line. So you'll be chosen by the Duke.
Honestly, the art alone and the heaviness of the box has me sold. That's all I need.
Right? I saw the art of the box and I went, I need to try that one out. It is still in plastic, but hopefully we will remedy that this weekend.
Yes, okay.
All right, what are you playing this, Maya? What have you been playing? What will you be playing?
Okay. Oh yeah. So yeah, Pathfinder-wise, I am also playing Pathfinder. I'm playing it with my mom. It's my mom's first campaign. Yeah, and we actually delayed our first session to be next Sunday because spoiler alert, for Mother's Day, we're going to be making a social post that says all the mothers who play games get a legendary proficiency check automatically on all of your checks. So if you're playing Pathfinder with your moms, play on Mother's Day so they can add bajillion extra numbers to all of their rolls.
Gotta make this game as special and successful as possible.
That is exactly what we're doing. But outside of the Pathfinder world, I am still playing Pokemon Violet because fun fact about me, I have played every Pokemon game, but I've never finished a single Pokemon game. But maybe this time's the first time. I doubt it. No,
I feel that. I have played one Pokemon game. I never finished that Pokemon game.
Listen, especially with Violet, there's so much to explore. All I do is get my lovely Pokemon. I think they're all in like level 25. Like you think we got it yesterday, and we're just roaming around, looking around, enjoying the space, and that's what we're doing, and that's it. Honestly, I feel gratified. That's all I need.
I just want my cute Pokemon, and that is all I need. I don't.
That's
really
what
care
I'm saying.
About the gyms. I'm just collecting the cute Pokemon.
Maybe I don't need to be doing these goals. Maybe I'm just here and we're cute and it's sunny and that's it.
Delightful. Oh my goodness. The way we're going on about Pokemon and all of the non-Paizo products, you wouldn't think that this is a Paizo Pathfinder Starfinder live stream.
It is. We are here to tell you about all the fun things that are coming up with Pathfinder and Starfinder. But also before we do talk about that, we want to let you all know that we have a special promotion going on right now. It's very, very important. Anybody who pre-orders a hardcover copy of Pathfinder Treasure Vault Remastered by June 3rd will get a free PDF when their book ships. And this is because Treasure Vault is not part of any of the subscription lines. So we're extending the promotion for pre-orders of all 3 hardcover versions. That's the standard hardcover, the special edition, and the sketch cover.
Ooh, just one, like Pokemon, you gotta catch them all. Oh
You
no,
gotta
we're gonna
catch.
keep, we're
I
gonna keep
mean,
doing that.
you can catch even one treasure vault and still get a free PDF.
Oh,
So
all
maybe
right.
it's
So
better.
okay, let's try. We're gonna try to hold it in. We're gonna try to keep it on topic, but obviously
Range.
you and I are bad influences on each other.
It's okay.
Uh,
We'll be fine. We're
all
gonna
right.
do
So
great.
today, when the two of us aren't talking about games and other hobbies, we're gonna be talking to Joe Pasini to talk about Paizo Games and other upcoming projects. We're gonna be talking to John Compton about the Mythspeaker adventure path that's coming up.
Absolutely.
And we're going to be talking to our organized play team about the new Pathfinder and Starfinder Society seasons. All
Absolutely.
right. Don't forget, we are going to be collecting questions throughout this whole thing, so
Mhm.
people can ask questions during the entire live stream. We aren't going to answer them till the end. We see them, we are collecting them. Don't worry. All right. I think it's time for me to head off into the gap and for you to
Yes.
go talk to Joe.
Yes, I'm gonna be talking to Joe. All right. We'll see you guys in T minus several seconds.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Hey, Joe, and welcome back, and welcome. Good to see you again from Paizo Live here.
Howdy, Maya.
Nice to see you. What games have you been playing lately, Joe?
Well, like many others, I fell down a blueprints hole and got to room 46, but
Oh.
there's so much.
How many are there total?
That's a great question. I have no idea. But the 46th one is the one you're supposed to get to. And
Okay,
that's
well
not a
then
spoiler.
congratulations still, because
Thanks.
I wasn't sure if if we should be like, oh no, there's so many left, or if I should be like, you're almost done. Like I don't know what the scale is.
I don't either, and I've been playing many hours of it, so
Well, at
it's good
least
and
you're
bad.
having fun.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
good.
really enjoying it.
I'm
And
glad you're having fun.
yeah, been playing a lot of board games, including Earth, one of my favorites.
Nice.
We just plant plants and make animals happy.
Adorable.
Yeah, and then I've been continuing in Pathfinder's Abomination Vaults and being beset by, I guess I can't say because of spoilers, but gosh, there's a creature you wouldn't think would be almost the death of the party, but it sure was. And
Oh wow.
to commiserate, I'm here for that.
Well, anybody playing Abomination Vaults, good luck. Have
Yeah.
fun. All right. So the Starfinder team in the past has mentioned a Paizo Games product as part of their second edition announcement, the Starfinder Infinity Deck. Can you tell us about what the Infinity Deck is?
Can I ever? It's two things primarily. One, which I think is really cool, is that it exists within the Starfinder universe. Like the Infinity Deck is a thing in Starfinder.
It's a game inside the game.
Yeah, exactly. And in Starfinder, Maryssa just mentioned it right before we started talking. The gap was a period of kind of missing history in the setting, and when people kind of came out of that period of missing memory and history, they found all these decks of cards around, but no rules for games. So they started making up their own games for the deck. And what that means for the thing that you can actually get in our world is a deck of cards that is 65 cards. Yeah, it's real. It's 4 games come with it, designed by Jason Keeley and myself.
Nice.
And it's similar to and different from a normal deck of cards. There's 5 suits, and you have numbers 1 through 10 in galaxies, stars, planets, moons, and starships. And then in each suit, you have number cards from 1 to 10. But each suit has a different number of face cards. So the galaxy suit only has 1 face card, the black hole. While the starship suit, for instance, has 5 different starship captain face cards. And so that lets us play with some weird types of games that you can't play with a normal deck of cards. And I think we might have an image of some of the cards. Maybe it already popped up. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh yeah. We just displayed some of the cards. Yeah, there they are again. Super cool looking. Really beautiful art.
Yeah, I wanted to note that the numbers and symbols in the corners and on the face, those are going to be actually shiny foil in the final game, which is very exciting.
Who doesn't love the game inside the game that is shiny on top of how fun it already was? And you said the game comes with 4 different games that you can play.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite of those 4 games?
Yes. I'm not supposed to probably, but
I feel you're allowed. I feel like in this case so which is your favorite? You are allowed first you're allowed to have a favorite. Second, which is the favorite?
Can I tell you what the 4 are briefly?
Yeah, go ahead. Tell us about all 4 of them.
So Absalom Ante is a 3 to 5 player sort of gambling game that's kind of your like Texas Hold'em of the Starfinder universe, and you're going to be trick taking and making a poker hand kind of at the same time. And you can like gamble with that if you want, or you can just play the game without chips or whatever credits. There's a salvage game that's 1 to 5 players. So you can actually play it solitaire if you want, where you're looking through a derelict starship for salvageable materials. And then Mercenary 11 is a game for 2 to 4 players, where you're using those face cards. You're actually constructing like a mini solar system and then zooming around it, trying to complete contracts. And then finally, we have Contraband, which is a 2-player game that I'll tell you right now is not my favorite because I hate lying to my friends, and that one's all about bluffing. One person's a smuggler and the other is a customs agent trying to stop them from sneaking contraband through.
Too real for Joe.
Yeah. Okay. Like I just want us to, yeah. So my favorite is Salvage, I think. Nice. And I, they all have a special place in my heart, but Salvage, I just like set collection, and there's some deduction you can do in there. And I think they're all pretty like light to medium-ish games, and you can play them quickly and while you're waiting for people to show up, or you can incorporate them as part of your campaign, right? Like especially the gambling one. Yeah.
I was like, honestly, it sounds like because the game is in-game, it sounds like you can even have a session where you just play these games instead of doing whatever else the goal of the session is. It kind of reminds me of like the beach episode in Avatar: The Last Airbender, where you just like just a break from the plot. We're chilling, we're hanging out. Today we're playing Starfinder Infinity Deck, and that's it. And we're gonna have a blast. That's what it's. I love it.
It's the bottle episode. The budget's cheap because you just have to show people in one room.
Exactly. Okay, so also, what advice would you give to a gaming group that wants to make Infinity Deck card games of their own? Since you said this was created in-game by people in the Starfinder world who created games, so what does that mean for people in our world who want to create games with the Infinity Deck?
Yeah, I love this aspect of it. I think this is really exciting. Is in the lore, this is literally something that you're meant to create things with, and have your individual, like your gaming group might have cool ideas for a game that they could make and play with this deck. And that could be overwhelming maybe, but I think if you just have fun with it, there's a couple ways you can go. You can decide like the mechanical side. Do you want it to be cooperative or competitive, or do you want, do you like drafting or poker style again, or maybe 1v1 or even teams or something? You can kind of decide what you want to do there, and then use the deck, the stuff that the deck provides to help you build that game. Or I think this is probably the more fun way for most people, is decide on like the lore, like where's this game coming from, what kind of species invented it, or what planet were they on, or what were they on like a long mission in the drift and decided to come up with something. And one thing I think of is like, if you're making a Skittermander game, well, maybe they like cooperating, so maybe it's a cooperative game. They like helping people. They have 6 hands, so you gotta give them 6 cards, right? Hands of 6 cards. I mean, that just seems
right.
Like
you gotta.
And then you just run with that. And you can mix those approaches and whatever it is. Like I said, I love that it's kind of, that's like the whole idea of the deck. And I can't wait to see. You asked my favorite of the games, and I think it's Salvage for now. But when someone else makes a game and shows it to me, then that's going to be my favorite for sure.
I can't wait to see what all the games our community makes. Like, honestly, at Gen Con, like, show us, tell us. We want to know. Or I guess Gen Con will like just be coming up. But later on in the year, when you make games, tell us. I want to know about the games. I'm in the forums, so tell me about the games, please.
I have to also stress the co-designer Jason Keeley wanted me to mention that this deck can be used to do magic tricks if that's your thing. So.
Oh my gosh. So there's pretty much nothing you can't do with the deck. Starfinder Infinity Deck is just ready for everything. And that's not even the only game we have coming up. Like, Paizo Games has another game coming up this year. Can you tell us about Pathfinder Monster Match?
I would love to. Monster Match is a whimsical game about dating monsters and finding your perfect match.
I'm doing another applause for this one. My previous applause was because we need more games with solo player, and this one is just because look at it. That's it.
Yeah. I think my simple description there doesn't really capture the sort of excitement buzzing around the office for the virtual office for this game, and kind of playing it, and just the departure it is from our sort of, I mean, Pathfinder and Starfinder have always been really cool, and delved into different aspects of role-playing games and just gaming in general, but this is like definitely a bit different from anything we've done as a company. And we're really looking forward to people learning more about it and playing it later this year.
Yep. Someone in the chat said, oh my God, dating sim? Yes. Oh my God, dating sim. Correct.
Yeah. So the gameplay is pretty straightforward. Like on your turn, you're going to pick a monster, pick a date to take them on. And then depending on how well it matches their personal preferences, which are hidden at the start, you'll build some connection with them. And then you can also give monsters gifts to curry their favor. And then after a bunch of dates, everyone gets to propose to one monster, and the best match wins. And a lot of the fun, I think, is in sort of, as you go on these dates, imagining the scenarios that come into play, like taking a Sphinx to a trivia night, or taking a giant apple picking, or which, you know, pretty basic for them, or taking a vampire to the beach, hopefully at night. They actually don't really like going to the beach.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And then, yeah, of course, there's also, of course is the wrong phrase, but there's also a sentient ooze named Glub. And this game lets you take Glub out for a romantic dinner. if
honestly,
that's your thing.
Yeah, as a agender non-binary person, yeah, that's what we're doing. We're taking Glub out to dinner. we're Lady in the Tramping the spaghetti with Glub out for dinner. That's pretty much guaranteed. How did you come up with the idea for Monster Match? Like, what was the design process like?
So the basic idea for Monster Match has kind of been on a short list of game ideas for a long time, and multiple different people at Paizo suggested it both to me and in other contexts. And ultimately, we kind of reached this critical mass and like looked around at each other and was like, "Are we doing this?" And like, "Yeah, we're doing this for sure."
We're doing it.
And that's what's kind of exciting about Paizo Games as a department, is that we get to tackle these kinds of projects in a way that are a bit different from like a role-playing game supplement or an accessory or something. We can really like throw a bunch of cards and tokens in there, like including some colorful heart tokens to measure your connection and stuff, and have a lot of replayability as its own game. So I really, a lot of this was, I think that's why there's so much excitement, because so many people, it was just like, we have to do this, obviously.
Obviously, especially since our community is also like dating sim, obviously. Like, clearly this is something that we want, they want, and it's happening, you guys.
And the design process itself was a lot of fun, of course. I worked out the basics of gameplay, and then the author, Michelle Kim, went wild picking all the specific flavors of monsters and dates and gifts that are in the game. And then Eleanor Farron calls herself the costume department. She chipped in with writing art briefs for all the monsters.
Yeah, can we show some of those monsters again, Rue, just so we can like take in a little more how fabulous they all are? Like, when we say we're taking a Sphinx to trivia night, this is the Sphinx you're taking to trivia night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, incredible. It's amazing. This game looks amazing thanks to the art direction and graphic design of Sonia Morris, who's at Paizo, and then the artist at Gunship Revolution.
I love the elephant for scale.
Yes, just slung over the shoulder. We did modify that sketch so it's very clearly alive and happy.
Yeah, no, I mean, that he looks like he's along for the ride. And then this also, oh my gosh, look at I've never seen an ascot to this level. Goodness gracious. Definitely don't take that vampire to the beach during the day, please.
No.
For all of our
for so many reasons,
Please, gotta go at night. And of course, we asked you this about Starfinder Infinity Deck as well. And do you have a favorite monster? Again, you're allowed to have a favorite, Joe. Do you have a favorite monster?
I'm sorry to be basic, but it's Glub. Like,
it's how Glub. Could it not be Glub? I don't think that's basic.
It's kind of universal. Like, not fully universal, but like, look at especially the I may be seeing it later than everybody, but the that art of Glub at the dinner with Jarell is just
with the wild. Glub has a corsage, you guys.
Yeah,
like, what do you mean it's basic? Ooze has corsage. There's nothing basic about ooze with corsage.
Right, thank you for that reassurance. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Joe. I'm happy to help you anytime. So now we get to the final part where I get to ask you, tell us a spoiler. And the spoiler can be about Starfinder Infinity Deck or Pathfinder Monster Match.
I will say for Monster Match, let's do that. One of the dates you can go on is playing a board game with your date, which I think is awesome. And the board game pictured on the card is a shout out to another in-world board game we've done at Paizo Games. So I think
that
that's cute.
is actually very exciting. Like I'm the kind of person who loves little Easter eggs, especially when they can be connected to other games. So that sounds really exciting, and I can't wait for people to start playing the game and figuring out what that game is, and then pointing that out to us, because it's going to be, we want to know. If you see the Easter egg, we want to know. That's the fun part about the Easter, is the finding. So thank you, Joe, for telling us all about the games the community can look forward to later this year. We're going to take a quick break, and then Maryssa will be back with our organized play team to talk about what's to come for organized play.
Thanks, bye.
Okay, bye.
In the nation of Shenmin, spirits and monsters stalk the depths of Spectre Wood, and ghost towns outnumber those inhabited by living souls. But this was not always the case. Over 100 years ago, the Age of Lost Omens began in Tian Sha with the collapse of the mighty Lunghua Empire, an event that left the small towns of Shenmin isolated and forced their citizens to become self-sufficient or fall to ruin. Willow Shore was one such town. Founded to support the construction of a remote mountain monastery, Willow Shore soon transitioned over to a lumber town, and like so many others, it was forced to fend for itself in the years after the Empire's fall. Not 2 years later, the records speak of a mysterious curse that fell upon the town, and while details of what took place have been lost to time, the events of Willow Shore's Season of Ghosts will now be told. The Season of Ghosts begins during the first days of summer, and is a time when the unquiet spirits of Spectrewood grew particularly restless. The townsfolk of Willow Shore celebrate this with a night of feasting on the last day of spring, but when a group of heroes wakes the day after, they find their hometown under siege. Fog shrouds the town, and the night sky shimmers under the light of a crimson moon, and monsters now stalk freely through the town's streets. While defending the monstrous invaders and lighting the town's protective eternal lantern could restore Willow Shore to safety, these invaders and strange manifestations are only the beginning, as walls of ghostly shapes rise in the surrounding woods. The town of Willow Shore has become cursed, and its people must band together if they are to survive the coming year and the horrific monsters they will face. Can the town's newest heroes save their homes, family, and themselves? Or will the Season of Ghosts mean the end for them all?
Shoot for the stars! The Starfinder 2nd Edition play test brings Starfinder into a bright future of cross-game compatibility and intergalactic intrigue. The Starfinder 2nd Edition play test rulebook gives players and GMs a wealth of science fantasy character options, spells, feats, equipment, and more. The playtest rulebook outlines 10 ancestries and, of course, adorable Skittermanders. Choose from 6 classic, the charismatic envoy, the magical mystic, the stealthy operative, the heavy-hitting soldier, and the cosmic-powered Solarian, and the paradoxical Witch Warper. Launch into the play test with the first playtest adventure, A Cosmic Birthday, an adventure for first-level characters. A Cosmic Birthday places characters at the center of a world-changing event in the Starfinder universe. Witness the birth of a new god, battle cosmic horrors in space, and make it back to the party in time. Excited for higher-level play? Dive into the center of blossoming intergalactic conflict in Empires Devoured. Empires Devoured is an adventure for 10th level characters. Characters find themselves on Atuity, witnessing a historic peace talk between Aslanti, Star Empire, and the Veskarium. However, that brokered peace is shattered by a surprise attack and negotiations turn into interstellar war. Fighting against rogue Aslanti operatives, saboteurs, and devourer cultists, the characters must stop the conflict from destroying Atuity and the entire Adalawe star system. Launch into the science fantasy campaign of your dreams with the Starfinder 2nd Edition play test.
Hello! I'm back with Jessica Catalan, our Starfinder developers. I'm trying to like read your little caption itty bittily, and I cannot see on my screen. Our senior Starfinder Society developer, and then Shay Snow, our Pathfinder Society developer. And after I have completely bungled up that intro, what games have you two been playing?
I have been busy with a lot of freelance work and some family things lately, so I haven't had a ton of time to play games. I have been prepping some Starfinder to play with my family. My daughter especially is a huge Starfinder fan, so she has played all of the Starfinder playtest adventures, and she is really excited to dig into something new. So we are eagerly awaiting the arrival of our Starfinder Galaxy Guide in the mail.
Are we holding out until Mother's Day so you can use that Mother's Day power-up that we have set aside?
I mean, as the GM, I might literally crush everyone, so might be a bad idea.
I don't know. It sounds like parenting to me.
They don't need to survive. It's okay.
It's fine. It builds character. All right, Shay, what have you been playing?
At the moment, I'm currently running Strength of Thousands, and I just let some of my friends convince me to play in a Werewolf the Apocalypse game. Also, I am currently playing Dredge, a Cthulhu Lovecraftian fishing game online.
Okay, I think we're going to blame Dredge and the Cthulhu Lovecraftian things that you've been dabbling in on something's up with your mic just a little. Because so I'm gonna let you handle that, and hopefully you should be able to just like unplug it and plug it back in. So I'm gonna switch over if that's okay. We're still going to be chatting. I'm just going to hopefully give you a chance to do your mic. But right now, we have 2 seasons of organized play launching at Gen Con this summer. We have Pathfinder Society Season 7 and Starfinder Society 2nd Edition Season 1 is going to be launching. So let's dive in with the Starfinder Society season. Give Shay a second to figure out their mic. So I'm going to ask Jessica, what exactly is the first Starfinder Society season for 2nd Edition going to be about?
So I am going to loiter here in the present for one moment before blasting off into the future. Ooh. We are bringing the final season of Starfinder Society 1st Edition to a close, and we have recently completed our meta plot. So the Starfinder Society has spent the past year performing an archaeological survey of the ancient city of Eternity, which is on the planet Avalon, and was founded by the mysterious First Ones. We've kind of shed a light on the First Ones this year, with many revelations indicating they were not a benevolent people. They were bad news. I won't give any further spoilers about the stuff we have done this season, but I will say if you haven't played it, you probably should. It might be important. Which brings us to the launch of Starfinder Society 2nd Edition with Invasion's Edge. We have some lovely art to show while I talk. As a massive alien starship has appeared out of nowhere in Akaton's upper atmosphere, careening toward the planet at speeds sure to crack it in half. And at the last moment, the starship slowed and crashed into Akaton's Slauskar Hills. Curious explorers and opportunistic salvagers descended upon the wreck, among which was a mercenary team in the employ of the Starfinder Society. Within hours, the wreck's automated defenses activated, driving the explorers out and unleashing dangerous monsters and magical effects into the region, including the dreaded Illimantula, which is a terrifying monster of magic, technology, and light showcased on the cover of Galaxy Guide. This starship was soon dubbed the Wreck of the Returned. Discoveries made during these initial investigations have led First Seeker Sarmak, head of the Starfinder Society, to believe the Wreck of the Returned has a connection to the First Ones and is the first step in a devastating invasion of the Pact Worlds, although something seems to have gone wrong. Deeply worried, Sarmak has established a new lodge in the Slauskar Hills and has put out a call for brave Starfinders willing to help establish and defend this lodge, and of course, to explore the Wreck of the Returned. So I'm thrilled to welcome everybody to Invasion's Edge.
That is super neat. Can we go back to that initial art for Invasion's Edge? Mm-hmm. I just want to focus. I love these background characters that give such of like a classic 1960s, 70s science fiction movie feel.
Definitely, when we were thinking of art themes for this season for what we wanted this. We definitely dug into, old cult movie posters and old TV alien invasion movies and stuff. So that was definitely the vibes we were going for.
Oh my gosh, I am loving the vibe that we're going for. All right, like what? So that's going to be waiting for us at Gen Con, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other Starfinder Society adventures that we're going to be able to look forward to at Gen Con itself?
Yeah, we have 4 Starfinder Society scenarios launching at Gen Con. Starfinder Society scenario number 1-1, Invasion's Edge, is the first adventure in the Invasion's Edge ongoing storyline. As rookie Starfinders, you'll lend a hand establishing the new Sloughscar Hills Lodge and then head out into the wilderness to examine a piece of nearby debris. Society scenario number 1-2, Mystery of the Frozen Moon, is a wilderness and first contact adventure that tasks you with performing initial surveys and explorations on an Arctic moon in an unexplored solar system in the vast. We've got some art of some very cute animals you can meet in this one. They're adorable.
Oh, are they going to get us in trouble? They're too cute to be innocent.
I hope people are nice to them because they're pretty cute. Initial scans of this moon indicate there's no sapient inhabitants, but there's some ancient artificial structures, which is an intriguing mystery. So if we're lucky and you do a good job, we could prove to use this as kind of the perfect jumping off point for exploring the surrounding system. Number 1-3, Disaster at Dreamlink Labs, is a horror adventure that takes place in the Gellet Edge, which is a kind of haunted ice field on the fringes of the Pact Worlds. I brought along some decidedly not cute art for this one. You're welcome.
Oh.
The Starfinder Society has been contacted by scientists from Dreamlink Laboratories, which is a lab dedicated to studying Octernite, which is kind of like the remnants of the planet Octern. The scientists claim to have made an important discovery, and they need the Starfinders to help to investigate further. But unfortunately, something has invaded Dreamlink Labs, and time is kind of running short for the survivors.
Oh no, that sounds absolutely terrifying, and it sounds like you have so these are coming out at Gen Con, and then they'll be available after Gen Con for everybody else to play?
Yep. I have one more if I can.
Ooh, all right.
Number 1-4, The Great Absalom Relay. It is a fun, lighthearted social adventure. The Starfinders are one of a dozen kind of prominent organizations invited to participate in the Great Absalom Relay, which is like a live streamed relay race across Absalom Station and the most anticipated charity event of the year. You, of course, are one of the lucky Starfinders tapped to represent the society in this race, so you get to charm the audience, upstage your competition, overcome obstacles, and complete challenges that kind of showcase Absalom Station's hotspots.
Oh my gosh. That's like the chaser after dealing with that accident and our spooky, scary friend back there.
Yeah, we need a variety. You gotta have some fun.
It's like a little emotional uplift after that. All right. If anybody has been paying to the Paizo.com blog, which I hope you all have, you notice that we have been launching some blogs about how Starfinder Society is going to be reorganized moving into 2nd edition. So Jessica, 1 or 2 final questions I have for you. One of them is, how has the reorganization of the program for the launch of 2nd edition, like how has it gone? How has it been? Is there anything that you can share with us? Is there anything you want to share with us about how that massive reorganization has gone for y'all?
It has been challenging and exciting and a lot of work and really fulfilling. It has been a team effort between myself and Thurston Hillman and Alex Spidel. We've discussed everything about the Starfinder Society from the ground up, little things and big things. We've got a lot of experience with the program, a lot of love for it and for Starfinder, but we've also heard a lot of feedback from fans and organizers and volunteers over the years. We really wanted to take this opportunity to take all of that into account and to make Starfinder Society 2nd edition kind of the best program we can make it, just as great as possible, right? To really examine what we want the program to look like going forward, what parts we want to change, what parts we want to stay the same, where can we improve. So we do have a lot of changes, which we've detailed on the Society rollout blogs on Paizo.com. But I'm really proud of what we are bringing to the table and what the future has in store here. So I look forward to sharing Starfinder Society 2nd edition with everyone this coming August.
All right. Is there any, like, before I head over to Shay, is there any other spoilers, anything you're excited about, any final question, comments, concerns, or warnings you want to give us about Starfinder Society 2nd edition?
So I mentioned we had 4 scenarios releasing at Gen Con, but I left one out. We also have a special double-length adventure, which makes it 4 hours long, which you play with 3rd level pre-generated characters. This adventure casts you in the role of the mercenaries in the employ of the Starfinder Society, who are on Akaton when a mysterious starship crashes into the Sloughscar Hills. So you can be the very first people to explore the wreck of the Returned in this prequel adventure to Invasion's Edge. That is Starfinder Society scenario number 1-0, Collision's Wake. We will share more about this adventure in an upcoming blog as well.
Ooh, that is going to be exciting. So if this is a prequel to like the first adventure where you play the Starfinder Society people, are you going to stumble upon yourself in the past? Are we going to be dealing with a paradox at any point?
No, but you'll stumble across some other interesting characters.
Ooh, that is very exciting, but I'm not going to spoil it anymore. And we're so excited for that at Gen Con. But we do have something else coming up for Gen Con, and that is Pathfinder Society Season 7. So we're going to kick it over to Shay. Hi,
Hello.
Shay. How are you been doing?
Hi, am I coming through now?
You're coming through loud and clear. Fantastic.
Huzzah! Sometimes technology just doesn't work, and that is why I work on Pathfinder and not Starfinder.
We're going to knock on all of the wood right now. How
This
dare
is press
Friday
board. I think that
be
helps.
Friday, hopefully. All right. So if technology wants to, technology says, hey, it's Friday, so I should get my Friday off, and you should get your Friday off. But unfortunately and fortunately, it is Paizo Live, so we're going to keep on trucking through. All right, Shay, what exactly is Season 7 going to be about?
Season 7 is the year of Battle Spark. It's about, well, I don't know if anybody knows this, but Cheliax and Andoran have been acting very aggressively towards each other for a little while. They don't really get along. And Venture Captain Brackett has decided, he got a notice from one of his friends over in Almas and was like, you know what? Hey, Pathfinder Society, we heard that they're doing something up in Breach Hill. Can we handle that? And the Pathfinder Society is like, you know what? Enough is enough. So throughout this year, we'll be handling the current effects and the after effects and the before effects, I would say, of all of the little battles across the Inner Sea War. We'll be in places like Isker. We're going to be in Nidal briefly. Definitely sometime in Cheliax, as well as other times kind of popping in and around Avestan and kind of dealing with what's going on. As you can see from our lovely half-pager, we have Zarda Dralneen out there. For anybody who doesn't know, she's our lovely ex-Paracountess from Cheliax, and she is the one really heading up all of these choices to really just look at Cheliax and go, you know what? No, we're tired of you.
Basically, society said, if nobody else is going to handle this, we're going to handle this, I guess.
Essentially, yeah. We're like, you know what? We've been patient and calm with y'all for long enough. We're stepping up. We're done with this. We're done with this tyranny. We're done with y'all meddling in things. No friggin' more.
We're done. We're handling it. Nobody else is going to handle this. We're going to do this.
Right.
All right. So while that's happening, because Pathfinder Society and Starfinder Society are their own plots, we do have another plot happening in Galarian right now called the Hellfire Crisis with a book coming out called Battle Cry. Do those two tie in together with each other? Yeah. Or am I just spoiling everything right now?
Yeah, actually, with the two meta plots that we have coming up, there's going to be a tag for the Hellfire Crisis, and then there's going to be a tag for Battle.
No, Shay, come back! You know too much information. Yeah. Technology has muted you, so you can't share the spoilers with me and the rest of the community.
You can't hear me at all?
I can hear you now. Quick, give the spoilers.
It's the gap. I swear to God, it's the gap.
I said it at the beginning, and that's a problem. I summoned it.
But yeah, we're going to have two meta plots, Battle Spark as well as the Hellfire Crisis. They will be interconnecting various times throughout the season and things like that. Specifically, throughout our meta plot, we're dealing with two devils, one of which we do have art for. His name is Kizrich, and you will see him during the intro if we want to share his art real fast.
I was going to say, do we have it? Do we have it? Oh, great.
Yeah. There he is. He's big, he's strong, and we don't like him, and we're gonna fight him. Trust me, you're gonna get to punch him in the face.
I could fix him.
Stop it. Stop it. I need a squirt bottle. That's enough. This is not a monster match. This is Pathfinder Society.
¿Por qué no los dos?
No! Absolutely not. But yeah, we're going to be covering all sorts of things that are going on throughout the Inner Sea. We are also going to be briefly popping over to the Mwangi Expanse to deal with some of Cheliax's old issues with tyranny over there. And everything's going to be super exciting. And if we want to show the sneak preview of our 701 cover, there we go. The Year of Battle Spark. It is on fire. We're ready. Enough is enough. That is written by Matt Duval, and that will be debuting at Gen Con alongside all sorts of other things, including our special, our $6.99. Don't worry about it. Under the Eye of the Mantis. We don't need to think about that right now. Hey, get Keon out of here. What? Get Keon out of here.
I don't know. You mentioned something. What was that?
No.
Okay.
Don't talk about Venture Gossip. Venture Gossip hasn't done anything.
Are you sure about that?
Maybe.
Oh, okay. I'm going to move on. But if you have a chance to say something, you got to tell me now before I move on to the next subject.
We might have more red mantises in the Pathfinder Society this upcoming year.
That doesn't count as a spoiler because I didn't ask for a spoiler. So you have to give me another spoiler anyway. Thank you for that.
I will.
All right. So we did see some rules changes happening with Starfinder Society. Are we going to see any rules changes happening with Season 7?
At the moment, I don't have any rules changes that we're looking at. We're, of course, keeping up with the remaster and things like that. If we have any upcoming changes, though, you can always check them out over at the PaizoCon or... what is the name of our panel again? The Organized Play panel.
The Organized Play panel at PaizoCon. There we go.
PaizoCon. You'll see it here on Twitch. It'll be great. We'll camp out. We'll have s'mores. It'll be fantastic.
Ooh, you can get anything. Food. I'll do anything for food. I'll go join this conversation for food. Get the spoilers for food. All right. I only have you for a couple of more minutes before I hand it back off to Maya and John. So I know you gave us a kind of sort of spoiler, but you really didn't. So what is your spoiler for this upcoming season? What are we most excited about?
What are we most excited about? Let me look and see if I can flip through my bag to see. I think I'm excited about the scenario that'll be coming out that'll be titled the name Within Ancient Halls. This is actually taking place up in the Aslanti Ocean, and sometimes the ocean seas part just long enough for a temple to an old Aslanti god to appear. And sometimes the Pathfinder Society gets to go in and Indiana Jones some stuff.
See, I hear that sounds amazing, but when you say ocean parts, what I'm hearing is we're on a timetable before the ocean closes and like sinks the temple again.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is going to be.
You get all that stuff out of there.
What I'm hearing is the GM needs to slam a timer down on the table and just be like, "You have this long until the ocean closes on you. Go."
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, so all of that sounds super exciting, but it is time for us to have a quick break before I hand it back over, before we go off into the place that cannot be named, that is cursing Shay right now, and we hand it back off to Maya and John to talk about the next upcoming Pathfinder Adventure Path. Thank you both. We'll see you at the end for Q&A.
Bye.
Welcome, friends, to the Greenwood Gala, where all the people of the forest, even talking animals like me, come together to celebrate everything wonderful about nature. We get to know each other, have fun, and respectfully share ideas. Here in the Verdurin Forest, the Treaty of the Wildwood protects nature. It lets our neighbors harvest a few trees, conserve the rest, and all in all keeps everyone peaceful, warm, and happy. This is a pleasant place, full of wonder, where everyone gets along. Wait, what's that? Well, I mean, the treaty keeps the arboreals happy, so they would never... Oh, nope, they look angry. Surely the Fae of the forest understand that... Oh, this isn't good. I can't remember the last time that... Oh no! Everyone needs to hold up for a minute. We can talk this through. Wait, no, not like that. Okay, the Verdurin Forest is always fun and cheery, but this is getting out of control. Get some negotiators. Meet with the lumberjacks and druids. Smile a bunch. No, this is not how we're supposed to negotiate. This shouldn't be happening. We're supposed to be gathering, sharing, having fun. And now, everyone's tearing apart the treaty. Maybe we need some new faces. Some fresh ideas. Someone who's gonna make things right. Hey, maybe some Wardens of Wildwood.
Our history is one of blood. We were driven to the surface before the first dwarf saw sky, harried by violence and driven by a desperation to survive. We turned to warfare to make a home and a name for ourselves. We have always had more enemies than allies. We learned to distrust our neighbors. We became prey to subjugators. The orcs became known as brutes and beasts, but we have always been so much more. Now is the time to prove it. We can show the world that we aren't the monsters of their stories, but a people with a vibrant culture, worthy of praise and preservation. I, Ardax the Whitehair, invite you, people of Galarian, to Torrentmoot, taking place during the annual Flood Truce of Belkzen. You will see the beauty of the floodwaters that bring life to our lands. Celebrate and feast with us. Learn of Belkzen and the ways of the orcs, a way of strength and prosperity. That is, if you can handle it.
All right, welcome back, everybody, and welcome, John.
Hello, hello.
Hey, it's great to see you. Can you tell us, we're all wanting to know, what games have you been playing lately?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Mostly as far as the Pathfinder side of things goes, I have an ongoing game of Season of Ghosts and a Strength of Thousands game that we'll get back to one of these days.
One of these days. Is it one of those ones where every week you're like, yeah, we should do that, and then the next week goes by and then, yeah, we should do that?
It's the difficulties of scheduling a whole bunch of adults who are all part of the same gaming group who already have other ongoing games, and so.
Oh my gosh, the impossibility of scheduling more than one adult in the room. So our next upcoming adventure path is Mythspeaker. Can you give us an overview of what this adventure path is all about?
Sure. So this takes place in Iblados, which is an archipelago way off to the east of our inner sea region that has some really strong inspirations from classical Greece and, to a degree, classical Roman mythology. So there's long been this tradition that we've known about in Pathfinder of hero gods and myth speaking. It's this process by which in Iblados they don't tend to really worship Pharasma, Sarenrae, Shaylin, all those folks. Instead, what they do is they homegrow their own deities. So when somebody's doing something really cool, then the local Cyclops cabal will basically invite them over for a prophetic myth speaking to say, let's figure out what you need to do to unlock the mythic awesomeness you clearly have bubbling under the surface. And if you do that, then you basically attain mythic power. And one of the assumptions in Iblados is if you have mythic power, you're going to share it in some way. And that was done certainly in first edition by using some of the mythic fees that existed to basically let you grant spells like a deity. And so we still have some of that happening in our second edition of the game. But we're going to be doing a lot of stuff there. I mentioned Mythic several times. This is also the first of two of our adventure paths that we're doing that are going to feature the Mythic rules. This one's going to be lower level. It takes you from level 1 through 9, ends at 10. And in the process, you will be gaining Mythic power in that second chapter. So you'll have a little bit of time without it, but the vast majority of this adventure path is with Mythic power and navigating not only how to use that power, but also what the expectations are societally. Because you're an Iblis, you have mythic power. Clearly, you must be hero gods. Are you going to embrace that fate or not?
Right. So you said this is one of two mythic adventure paths that we have coming up. For all of our new players in the community, what does that mean? And like, what does mythic play look like? And how does low-level mythic play work?
Yeah, so mythic is, you can get a good sense of how mythic plays by taking a look in GM Core and looking at the free archetype optional rule. And that basically just says, hey, you know how you're getting a class feat at every even level? Cool, get another one, apply to your archetype. In this case, though, for Mythic, it's more, hey, at second level and every even level, get a Mythic feat. And a Mythic feat is going to be some way to use Mythic points. It's a little fuel system that you have per character. So you start a session with 3 Mythic points. You can use them to gain super high bonuses on a certain thing that you're particularly good at, or you can use it to redo saves or cheat fate or leap way further than anybody ever should. Things like that. So if you have some sort of like super heroic gameplay notion, all the way to more like myths and legends and fairy tale level of stuff where it's like Heracles cleaning out the Aegean stables, where it's okay, it's about tearing down a dam with your bare hands in order to clean out the stable. That level of thing. Those are some of the feats that you are able to achieve when you're playing around with mythic power.
That's really fun, honestly. And like, what are because that does sound really exciting to me as well. What are some elements of this adventure path that will excite new players who are just getting into Mythic play?
Let's see. So for new players, I think you're going to have, first off, it's going to be a very intuitive entry point. So you are starting off at first level. You're primarily in a single city in the eastern end of our archipelago of Iblados, doing some cool things that are going to get you really involved in the setting itself. So by the time that you head off and gain your mythic power, you're already really well rooted in things. I think one of the things that can be kind of overwhelming at times for newer players to a system or to a setting is just making you download all of the information all at once, and starting in a central place and then adding a little bit more can be very comfortable for folks. In addition, I think that this is a fun one from the perspective of being able to say, okay, we're dealing with a sizable region, but it's also just small enough that we're able to do extraordinary things that are really going to shape the future of this place. So again, it's a matter of scope management. It's not a save the world from cracking in half sort of thing. The world's not cracking in half. But, but there are some major things that are happening that will happen in a not so great way if you don't step up.
Right. And you said, like, especially in Iblados, if people have these powers, they're expected to do something with them that affects the rest of the people of Iblados.
Yeah, you're going to have, even though it's not strictly Greek mythology by any means, you're going to have some Spider-Man moments of great power, great responsibility of like, when it comes to people who have that label, it says they solve problems. It looks like between 4 to 6 of you. So
we're here waiting, right? So because those are all things for new players too, but what are some things that veteran Pathfinder adventurers can look forward to in this adventure path?
So part of it is going off map, so to speak.
Nice.
We have our inner sea region with northern Garund and most of Avestan that people have likely seen maps of all day long. But we are going to be along the southern edge of Casmaron. And so we're going to be exploring a lot of the region and world building. In fact, there are likely a couple of art pieces that we could probably bring out.
Let's pull up some art.
So if you check out, let's take a look at the Iblados map, because this AP gave us a lot of opportunities to be able to, and for the record, East is currently up. It gave us a lot of opportunities to really build out in detail a lot of this region. So right now you're looking at a map of Iblados and the surrounding Cardaji Bay area, also sometimes called the Iron Coast, especially along the eastern side of it. So we've described all these larger islands, a whole bunch of the smaller ones, picked a whole bunch of extra sites along those. That's going to be showing up in the second volume of 3.
Right.
And in the third volume of 3, there's a map that we're not showing today of the greater Cardaji Bay area. And so you'll be able to see it kind of zoomed out even more. And we're going to be detailing a lot of the mainland aspects of things. In addition, this has been an opportunity for us to revisit some of the established lore that came out in first edition and that we just barely touched upon. So one of the recurring threats was this thing, this thalassic behemoth called Usmariku. So in our opening for the Iblados Gazetteer, we were able to illustrate the destruction of Leokora, which is basically Age of Lost Omens started up, and along with all the other terrible things happening across the world, this gigundous crab whale thing basically came up on shore and started eating one of the city-states whole.
Just when you thought everything was already terrible, here comes that.
Yeah, and the notion with that myth-speaking thing is it's a prophetic sort of ritual, and in the Age of Lost Omens, prophecy don't work. And so for the last 100 years, this myth-speaking tradition has been failing more and more, and that means that the hero gods who are out there are also slowly dying off through old age, attrition, and what have you. And about 100 years ago, when they were trying to stop Usmariku here, a whole bunch of them teamed up and they're like, Avengers assemble, and then the Avengers all got stomped. So basically, Iblados is having this identity crisis because it's running out of the gods that it's used for 10,000 years, and no more seem to be able to step up or be apotheosized. And then along come the PCs, and there'll be a question in this adventure path of why us, why now, what else is going along with this?
Are there other creatures that we have to show everybody here on Paizo Live today? Like, what are some other foes we can expect to? I don't know, like you open your door on a nice Iblados morning and then, oh no!
Yeah. So if you are able to bring up that set of the 3 covers again that we had at the very beginning. So one of the things that we pushed for was to make sure that we had some sort of classically identifiable Greek myth style creature on the cover of each one of these to really drive things home. So you'll see a Cyclops, a Hydra, and a very urbanite chimera. Probably because we were going to an urban area that
right, you said
deals
this is
with
like
a lot of monsters.
Yeah.
And so this is a very upstanding individual in more ways than one. We've also drawn upon some other Greek myth inspirations. Again, all of these things are ones where we're never just taking Greek myth and pasting it directly in. It's always how can we adapt this? How can we make it Pathfinder? How can we make this our setting? But let's see, you'll be able to encounter things like a Sphinx. We have a good Sphinx illustration that plays this character plays a fun role in the beginning of book 2 because
nice. Look at that.
You're going to need some real important information. If you've ever read like the Odyssey or the Aeneid or things like that, there are oftentimes moments where the heroes are like, bleh,
yeah,
and they have to go find somebody who has mystical knowledge, but oftentimes at a cost. And so the question will be, what is the cost that this Sphinx is going to charge you?
Of course.
We also drew inspiration for things like the Eumenids, which is loosely based on the Furies. I had mentioned the Aeneid and the Odyssey. Both of those have a particular journey in mind, a katabasis where they go into the underworld to seek things. We may have drawn some inspiration for one of the chapters, and anytime you're in that sort of zone, you probably don't want to go pick and fight with all the locals, but you're mythic. What's the worst that can happen?
Right.
And other than that, though, I think that throughout this adventure path, we've really been trying to draw upon fun classical artwork. There's an opening where we use kind of a bas-relief illustration. So that upper half is where we have some fun in-world text that we're putting into the final product. Of course. But this is sort of taken the look, I want some friezes, I want some murals, I want the Elgin marbles to, at the very least, exist in this AP, even if they don't exist in Greece, sort of thing. So these are playing around with a couple of the iconic characters who show up in a lot of the artwork throughout the adventure path. In this case, Nehoa on the left, our iconic exemplar, and Korakai on the right, our iconic oracle. And oh boy, there's some fun art of each of those that's coming up.
Can't wait to see all of that.
And then finally, just from a Greek adventuring inspiration thing, one of the things that we identified within the past year or two, and also had some people at Gen Con come up to me and ask specifically for this sort of stuff, is we don't in second edition really have any strong maritime adventures right now. where it's toss you on a ship, go. And I won't say that Mythspeaker is one where it's like you're going to be on a ship the entire time, but you're going to find yourself frequently traveling around on a ship and also having encounters on a ship. So we wanted to make sure that our ship, the Tide Hunter, not only had its map for the recurring appearances that you're going to have for it, but also for the various, certainly not combats that might take place on it. Or if you just want to take it anywhere else and cause trouble, you can always take this lovely Pentaconter and its complete crew around the islands.
That looks epic. And you mentioned also before that we haven't really touched on this world since way back in first edition. How does it feel to expand on Iblados for this adventure path?
It's really cool. So it's great to be able to give a lot of these proper nouns a lot more information than just a paragraph here and there. So in the back matter articles of a bunch of these books, you're going to find deep dives into a bunch of those subjects. So we have a Hero Gods article that explores, hey, do you want to use some of these as divine patrons? And what's their backstory? What are some of the ones who have passed away of old age? And we have an article about like running your own cult. You are Hero Gods. People are looking to you and expecting things. What can they expect of you? What can they do for you? And so it's a little bit like leadership in a way. But also just diving into a lot of the ongoing gameplay. So a lot of our adventure paths end with a campaign ramifications or continue the campaign article. And same goes for Mythspeaker. In this case, it's all right, you hit 10th level. You're getting close to, in Mythic adventuring, you hit your Mythic Destiny at 12th level, which is where you get like a whole new set of powers based on your path. You're getting close to that point. You want to stick around this area? What sorts of things can we do now that we are in the double digits? All right, let's give you not only a whole bunch of adventure hooks and mysteries, but also additional character options to expand your Mythic gameplay.
Brad, it sounds like it's got a whole lot for people who are just starting and people who are just ready to dive back into the world as a familiar thing to them. Can you tell us also the fun extra sneaky part? Can you tell us one spoiler from Mythspeaker? From like the whole adventure path. One spoiler.
Yeah. You are going to be interacting with a number of the Hero Gods who have shown up in some of the past canon, including adventuring alongside them in a variety of different ways. There is also, when I was doing the Hero Gods article, there was a question of like, hey, how many of the previously named ones am I going to bring in and which ones am I going to have to leave off for space? And one of the ones that I made sure to include was a personal favorite, Drocalion, who, like, most of these are characters who are like, I do cool things. Of course I'm a hero and now I have divine abilities. Drocalion was presented as a mundane lion who just happens to have acquired mythic power by means nobody really understands. It's like a slightly above average intelligence lion, nowhere near human intellect, and so it doesn't understand what it has. But there are about a dozen people who follow it around and are like, it's really cool when Drocalion chases us.
Awesome.
And so it just kind of reinforces how Hero Gods can range all the way from very minor, yet nevertheless grant spells, all the way up to extremely powerful and grant spells, and everything in between. And the PCs get to be a part of that.
It's awesome. Thank you so much, John, for telling us about the whole Mythspeaker adventure path. Now we're going to take another quick break, and then we're going to come back for our Q&A section. And Rue has been taking down all the questions from the chat. So we are going to bring our entire team back and have our Q&A. So we'll see you guys again after the break.
You've made names for yourselves as adventurers over the years, yet now it seems adventure has found you instead. Mysterious and magical hero cards have appeared among your belongings. Where did they come from? And what of the strange powers they grant? The brass dwarf protects you from fire and other harmful effects. The empty throne overwhelms your foes with hopelessness and despair. The paladin defends you from harm and protects you from peril. And the rabbit prince lets you strike at foes with great accuracy. But be careful his advice doesn't shatter your blade. There are so many more cards out there to be found. They've been scattered across the world, so now the hunt is on. With each card you gather, your power grows. Before long, you will use this power to travel to places beyond reality itself. Yet still, the question remains, where have these cards come from? Who could have created them? And for what purpose? And what of the fiendish armies and monstrous foes who gather against you and seek the cards for themselves? You race against time, gathering these treasures before they're used against you. Will your quest lead you to legendary realms and grant the destiny you deserve? Or are you merely pawns, unwittingly serving mysterious forces who watch from afar, waiting for the right time to pluck your futures away? In the end, what chance do adventurers have against those who would steal fate itself?
At the dawn of time, the gods united in a desperate battle to save the universe when the rough beast Rovagug aspired to devour planet after planet. In the end, he was not destroyed, only imprisoned in the heart of the planet Galarian. Since then, gods have risen and fallen, but all agree that the rough beast must never escape. Now, Gorum, god of war, has been slain, and the remains of his divine body rain down upon the face of the world. Where his blood and shattered armor land, mythic power takes root and war spreads. For Kira, Maryssa, Ezrin, and Amiri, 4 veteran adventurers seeking a lost relic of the sun god Sarenrae and answers to an unexpected assassination attempt, this cataclysm will set them on a desperate task, not only to understand and grapple with their newfound mythic powers, but to prevent the escape of the rough beast himself. Mysterious and sinister forces plot to ensure Rovagug's escape, and the heroes will have no easy time stopping their evil plans. With their burgeoning mythic power, the gift of one of Galarian's surviving deities, and the aid of newfound allies, will 4 mortals be able to stand before a god? Embark upon an epic tale of high adventure in the world of the best-selling Pathfinder role-playing game, In God's Reign by Leanne Merciel, coming soon to a bookseller near you. Find out more on Paizo.com or with the Prelude electronic books, The God's Reign Prophecies and Before the God's Reign. The fate of the world depends on it.
All right, welcome back everyone to the Paizo Live Q&A with our whole team. I feel like I should be like, I bet you're wondering why I've gathered you all here today. And it's to answer questions from our chat. So I would love to kick this off with the question that is on everyone's mind. This question is for Joe, and it is about Monster Match, and it is exactly what you think it is. Can we date all the monsters?
Short answer, yes. There's 20 in the game, so there's quite a range. We'd love to see this explode and add even more in the future, but yeah, there's a good range of monsters you're familiar with and some that are unique to Pathfinder, and as aforementioned, a noose.
My end goal for this is to get it so popular you are then required to basically turn the monster core into a Monster Match game.
The whole
monster core.
That's what we want.
All right. I can also say, oh, hey, that was my question.
I still,
in, I asked that question in the chat.
Oh my God, yes, right. You're Maryssa Mary. That's true. But everybody wanted to know. I wanted to know. The chat wanted to know. Like, can we date all of them? Yes, you can.
I was doing a public service asking this with my full publicly available name.
Wonderful.
All right. So another question, I'm going to jump down from Paizo Games into organize. Oh, that's just a comment. That's not a question. That's just a comment saying Shay. I see all of those people thirsting after the devil.
I saw all of you. I was having glitch gremlins, but I saw your sins in the chat.
We all saw.
I saw them with all 4 of my eyes.
But I also just think I gave up my chance to ask a question by bringing that to light, so I'm going to hand it back over to Maya.
Okay. So we've got another question for, let's ask John some questions here from Kitsune Warlock. John, what is the name of the Cyclops on the cover of that Mythspeaker's book? And almost more importantly, what is the name of their sheep?
The Cyclops is Ifani, who is, as far as Cyclops go, pretty darn shy. So I hope you don't break her poor little heart.
That's adorable.
As for the sheep, that particular one doesn't yet have a name, but I'm sure that by the end of the first chapter, every single group will have gone out of their way to name them.
Oh, what's up, Shay? Do you already have some... I want a Wooly. I was like, now we need to expand our Pathfinder plush line. We have some, but we need to, I feel like the more cute animals we make in adventures, the more plushies we should then have. So I feel like Mythspeaker plushies, we can dream, right? We can hope. All right, I'll pass it back over to you. Oh, yeah, what's up, John?
You could probably call it like Maliaros, which would be woolly in Greek.
Oh, what's amazing. Wait, say that again.
Maliaros.
Excellent. That's the name of the sheep. There you go. Wonderful.
My brain just immediately went Bartholomew. So it just needs a main character name.
Yeah.
All right. I do have one for both Jessica and Joe. We're going to ask you to tag team on this one. Will the Infinity Deck have any ways to integrate with Starfinder Society scenarios?
Okay, let's answer one word at a time. You say one word, then I'll say one word.
We
are. I'm just kidding.
That's not the word it should have been. We have no plans at present to showcase the Infinity Deck in Starfinder Society scenarios. However, the Infinity Deck is great to use in one of our other Starfinder adventures, that is Murder in Metal City. It is a really cool deluxe adventure for Starfinder 2nd Edition. It is a murder mystery at first level characters with all kinds of cool handouts and maps and pre-gens and creature tokens and stuff. And you can also expect us to include the Infinity Deck in other adventures in the future as well.
And the deck is designed such that we can release games for it in the future, right? In other products maybe, or even as standalone on the Paizo website. The possibilities are infinite. Oh, I'll see myself out. Sorry. I didn't plan that, I promise.
I need to tackle the cane comes over my head to wrap around Joe and just like drag him off. Right.
Yeah, my camera, yeah.
To jump on the Infinity Deck, though, there's another question about Infinity Deck as well, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Will we get a Foundry module for Infinity Deck?
So there's no plans for that presently, but we are always looking at digital implementations of Paizo Games products, and this in particular would be a great fit for something like that. So
absolutely.
I know some people who you can talk to.
Yeah.
We can have your people call my people. All right. I could keep bothering Joe, but I think I'm going to jump down to Mythspeaker questions. So this one's for John. If all the hero gods were eaten by the crab whale, how do you play clerics and champions? Also, can we worship traditional gods instead?
Yeah, so many of them sure did get eaten by Uzumataku, that giant crab whale. But not all of them. So there are still, at the very least, about 8 or so of them still in existence. And we've included the statistics for those in our Hero Gods article, and you'll find some of that in the player's guide as well. So if you want to take one of those as divine patron, by all means. In addition, the traditional like core 20 gods and the like, yeah, those exist. Those can be worshipped. It's just off the beaten path as far as local culture is concerned. But it's going to be rare that you're going to run into anybody who harshly judges you for it or anything like that. Finally, Mythspeaker is really good, or Iblis in general is really good for exploring some of the divine but not necessarily direct relationship with the gods sort of classes. So Oracle is a fantastic one. You can even get some good mileage out of Animist. Lots of different options.
And I've also got a question. Where did the question go? I lost the question. There's the question. I've got a question for both Shay and Jessica. What location are you most excited to go to this season in your prospective societies? Oh my gosh, Shay's making. Okay, Shay, do you want to? You've just got like the most devilish grin. Please tell us. Go ahead, Shay.
Geb.
Ooh.
Why? Oh no, why would probably be spoilers. Why without spoiler? This is I just hear like the sound on television when they're just bleeping you out. It's like you talking everything, and we just hear like beep 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 beep. All right, great. Geb. Enough said. Jessica, where are you excited to go?
There is a location in the Drift that we foreshadow probably, I think, at least 3 times before you actually get to go there in an adventure. So I'm really excited about that. There is not a named location. So if I have to drop a name, Lajok.
Can we spell that for the audience?
Lajok.
Can you use it in a sentence?
We are going to Lajok.
Amazing. And Geb.
Perfect.
And Geb.
And
at the
Geb.
same time.
At the same time.
Same trip.
We might
really
have
long.
some culture clash.
Oh, right. Somebody saw that art of the new ships, and they were wondering if there's going to be ship combat rules in Mythspeaker.
Not updated ship combat rules. However, you'll find the vehicle rules in GM Core, and every once in a while you'll be able to get some good mileage out of those. There are also some encounters on the ship that will be less of like, hey, what exact bearing are we at, and more, oh gosh, are we capsizing? What can we do about it, sort of thing.
Oh my gosh. Gosh darn it, Joe. I saw the question, and then I just saw your name with it. Could Monster Match be considered ship combat?
I think so.
There will be shipping.
Combat shipping, yep, good.
Oh, the shipping wars. Let's
Combat shipping could also be in Pathfinder Society, so.
Yeah, honestly, like, as someone who literally lives, I mean literally, in the Paizo website forums, I cannot wait to hear everyone talking about their ships. That's what I want to hear. I just want to see all the favorite ships, and I do actually hope that someone makes Monster Match ship combat and we get to see it. Please. Just for my own enjoyment.
Oh my gosh. Maya, I see Rue typing in the questionnaire down here at the bottom. And so I'm going to request that be your next question that you ask us.
Okay. Oh, you want me to ask that now and not the final question? Okay, I can ask that now.
We could hold off. As the final question. It is a very important question.
Yeah, no, that's super. Well, we have a very fun final question. We can't wait to tell you guys, everyone else. But before we get to that, let me also ask John from Prince Malleus in Mythspeaker. Will we get new mythic callings and mythic feats? Like, are we getting new things?
So there are not new mythic callings because those are things that you choose right off the bat, and so also because our mythic rules are so new, we figured, you know what, play with the ones that already exist. We can introduce more mythic callings later. However, as you're gaining mythic levels, you're going to want plenty of options, and so we have included some story-specific mythic feats as well as expansions on a number of different classes, including both the ones that show up in War of Immortals. So there are a handful of new apparitions in there for the animists, as well as a number of epitaphs for the exemplar that are all based on the accomplishments that you will have in the game.
Cool.
Right, let's mark that one
it's
off. All right.
Oh, and then there's one more question, Maryssa, before the final question that is a Jason Keeley joking question. Do you want to ask that one?
I will ask that one.
Awesome.
All right. Will chickens, this is important, will chickens get the legendary proficiency this Sunday for International Respect for Chickens Day?
This is like a question for me. It's like kind of. It's a question for us. Whose question is this for?
Who grants the legendary proficiency?
I mean, I technically granted the legendary proficiency for the mothers just because I thought it would be nice. And so because I do not have a social post planned for International Respect for Chickens Day, but yeah, honestly, if you have chickens in your Pathfinder campaign, yes, they get legendary proficiency this Sunday for International Respect for Chickens Day.
If you bring a chicken to your Pathfinder Society table, do you get legendary proficiency that day, Shay?
Yes.
No.
What?
But hang on.
Okay. All right.
Hang on.
Hanging.
I can't grant legendary proficiency. I'm not in the marketing team. But you can have 2 hero points for every chicken you bring to the table.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Okay, is it every whole chicken, or can I bring like a basket of chicken wings, and I get a hero point for every chicken wing in the basket?
No, whole chicken. Gotta be whole chicken.
You're going to have to look a chicken in the eye and justify why you brought chicken wings.
Yeah, and honestly, also, if people are bringing chickens to their sessions on Sunday, please post pictures on social media and tag the Paizo account. Because I will then see them on Monday, and I cannot wait. Like, please tag your chickens.
I have a follow-up
Especially if you have
question.
fancy chickens.
Yes, the fancy ones.
Send us the fancy chicken.
This is very chicken looking to me. I don't know about
the white fluffy ones with the
ones with the hair.
I should play charades.
Okay, but I have an important follow-up question for all of this. Once again, who granted the marketing team the permission to grant legendary proficiencies?
Absolutely no one. I just thought it would be neat for Mother's Day.
And y'all let Maya do that. You'll give Maya this power.
I thought it would be neat for Mother's Day. Not everybody even has sessions on Sunday, but it's nice to just be like, hey, if you have it, how cool is that? It's a fun little day to do that. And also I just really want to make sure my mom has a good time playing her first Pathfinder session because she's never played these before. And she's terrified because of all the information, but she's also so excited to play the Tengu that she made for Shades of Blood, even though we don't know how it's going to go, but she's so excited about her Tengu character.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing and delightful, and I'm so glad of your not so abusive power.
Yeah, no, that's not what happened.
Are we ready for the most? Maya, are you ready for the most important final?
I'm
question?
ready.
Are you ready to ask this most important?
I'm
final
ready.
Question? All
From
right.
Kitsune Warlock, it is. Can you please give us a proper noun with literally no context?
Everybody has to answer. Speed round.
Yeah. Turn I elect Giovanna.
The functionary.
Itildos.
Oakley.
Tagusi Golfa.
I forgot all of them.
Oh no, Maya.
I forgot all of them. Oh my god. Oh, wait, no. Yup. Avalon. That was a real, like, I'm now on the spot, head empty moment.
You pulled it
out. I was
out.
like, cool, I've forgotten every word except for the phrase I forgot. Those are the only words I actually know how to speak. And then also words in Korean kept coming up. Like, my second language was like, we got this. And I was like, I don't know if that counts.
It totally counts. It's a noun.
Okay, well, technically, the first proper noun that really came to my head was Hebyok, which means dawn.
Beautiful. It would have counted.
Okay, it's Hebyok.
All right. I think we've put everybody and you through enough torture.
It's okay. We did it. Yes, thank you so much for everyone who came to Paizo Live, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I have been your host, Maya. And you can find me, I decided this earlier and I wrote it down from my Switch. You can find me in Pokemon. Please group up with me and catch some Pokemon with me. I am typing my friend code in the Twitch chat. This is my friend. Here is my friend code.
Maya, you're playing a very dangerous game.
I'm doing it. Nothing can be crazier than when I gave my entire battle tag out to a panel at PAX East. So here goes my friend code. Help me play Pokemon because I don't know where I am. I'm lost. I'm aware there's a map, but I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Add me, help me figure out how to play this game. All right, Maryssa, why don't you go next?
Marvelous. I'm Maryssa Marie, Paizo's web comp manager. You can find me on literally every social media that possibly exists as at Maryssa Marie. I was able to claim all of them.
Wow.
All right, let's swing it on to Joe.
Yeah, I'm Joe Adultman on Twitch and Blue Sky primarily.
Great. Shay?
Yeah, I'm at Spells and Sugar, primarily on Blue Sky, but you can also find me, because I live a dangerous life like Maya does, you can also find me at Spells and Sugar on Steam if you want to be friends.
Play
Warframe with me.
Oh, nice.
Ooh. All right, let's just keep going down the line. Jessica.
Hey, I'm Jessica. You can find me on most social media and Discords as D20 Diaries. That was it. I had something else that I forgot.
It's a Friday. It's a Friday.
And John, where can we find you?
I don't do too much social media these days, but I do show up in the Pathfinder RPG fan Discord server, especially the Galarian Lore channel.
Ooh, answering all the questions, giving all the spoilers, lying to absolutely everybody about everything.
Yeah, that's close enough.
Marvelous. Maya, do you want to take it home?
Yes. So thank you again, everybody, for coming to join us on this Friday evening for Paizo Live. We will not be having Paizo Live next month, but do not fret. It's because PaizoCon is right around the corner with a weekend full of panels. We got games. I'm going to teach you guys how to crochet a D20. It's very exciting. All sorts of news about the Hellfire crisis and all kinds of new stuff is going on at PaizoCon. So come to PaizoCon. You can get all more details at paizo.com/PaizoCon. And we're really looking forward to seeing all of you there to celebrate all things Paizo. Thank you guys for coming to Paizo Live, and we will see you at PaizoCon. Come to PaizoCon.
Have a good weekend. Bye, all.